state of disunion. Because disunity, unfortunately, is one of the hallmarks of our community. Now the Quran says that you deem them together. تَحْسَبُهُمْ جَمِيعًا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ شَتَّى. You think they're all together, unified, but their hearts are dispersed. But then, in something the Usuli scholars call Tabih al-Kitab, letting you know the reason why, so I'm giving you the iddah. Because the Quran does not always give you the rationale for something. But in this verse, it tells you why they lack unity. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَوْمٌ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Because there are people without any intellect. Because unity is strength and power. When you don't have unity, you have nothing. الْمُؤْمِنُ قَوِيٌّ بِأَخِيهِ. A believer is strong because of the unity he has with his brother. So we have Muslims that categorize Muslims into different categories. They say, he's a Salafi, he's a Sufi, he's a Ash'ari, he's a Maturidi, he's a something or other, he's a progressive Muslim, he's a Tom, he's a Dick, he's a Harry, and he's a baker and a candlestick maker. We've got all of these categories to label Muslims. And yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us one label. هو الذي سماكم المسلمين. He called you Muslims. God called you Muslim. لا تنابزوا بالألقاب. That's a nahi in the Quran. It's a prohibition. I thought Allah said, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Why are you calling your brothers names? Because the Quran says, لا تنابزوا بالألقاب. Don't call each other names. And yet you're calling this guy a name. He's a Wahhabi, or he's a Salafi, or he's this, or he's that. And yet Allah prohibits that. You must be a kafir, brother, because you're not applying the Quran. With the same logic. That's the Khawarij position. If you reneged on anything, you reneged on the whole thing. Because rejection of a part is a rejection of the whole, according to the Khawarij. But that's what we have. We have people that label Muslims, and yet God did not label Muslims. God called them Muslimun. He called us Ummah Wahida. One Ummah, a unified Ummah. The Muslims split into different groups early on. And the Prophet predicted that. In a riwayah he said, كُلُّهَا فِي النَّارِ إِلَّا وَاحِدًا. And in another riwayah, كُلُّهَا فِي الْجَنَّةِ إِلَّا وَاحِدًا. They're both sound riwayah. I'm not making that up. People say, well, how could all of them be in hell except for one? And how could all of them be in paradise except for one? Because it is hell to be disunified. First and foremost. If you lack unity, that in itself is a type of hell. But the Prophet ﷺ, when he speaks of the people of the fire, he does not necessarily mean they're going to the fire, they just deserve to go. But Allah's rahmah is vast. So there's people that the Quran calls them the people of the fire, and they don't go to the fire. That's something, you can read this in the books of Quran. Am I making this up? Imam Zayd. This is in the books of our tradition. Imam al-Ghazali says that some people will get like flash pasteurization in the fire. Just flash pasteurization. So they get ashab al-nar. They get that hukum. They just get instant purification, pulled out, and given paradise. I hope we're not amongst those people. But that's a possibility. They tell us it's time to go. Now, on the other hand, we label all of the non-Muslims into one category. Kuffar. Kuffar. Oh my God. Even some, Murtad, it's even worse. They lump all of the non-Muslims into one category, and yet Allah distinguishes between them in the Quran. So the group that Allah puts into one category, we categorize. And the group that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala categorizes, we put into one category. We have things backward, people. I don't think people are reading this book deeply. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. I don't think people are reading this book deeply. There are Muslims, first of all, if you look at the first verses in the Quran that come down, they don't say, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. That's a sign in the usuli, in the tafsir tradition. What's that a sign? يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Revealed in Medina, right? In Mecca, it's Ya Ayyuhan Nas. That's a sign for the Mufassirun say, if it says Ya Ayyuhal Ladina Kafaru, Madani. If it says Ya Ayyuhan Nas, Makki. Why? Because the Hujjah had not been established. You can't call a person a kafir until you've proven to them that Islam is true, they know it's true, and they reject it. But people, you'll spend 5 minutes. I told him Islam, I told him it's the truth, but he didn't believe he's going to hell. What happened? He disbelieved. He's going to hell.